Donald Trump's lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal is already blowing up in his face. Now, if Rupert Murdoch just continues to go down the path of defending this lawsuit, Donald Trump is going to lose, and Donald Trump is going to lose big. So on Friday, Donald Trump was asked by a reporter, do you maintain that you did not write a letter for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday, which is the basis of your lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal, because they claim this letter exists, that you signed it, that you doodled, that you talked about how like enigmas never age, and that secrets remain secrets, and our beautiful secrets will always remain. Are you still maintaining you did not write that letter? Watch Donald Trump's response. This is surely something that's going to be played at that trial. Let's play it.
Did not write a letter for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday? I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot. All you have to do is take a look at the dossier, the fake dossier. Everything's fake with that administration. Everything's fake with the Democrats. Take a look at what they just found about the dossier. Everything is fake. They're a bunch of sick people. Where did you see the people laying outside?
Right across the street from Lafayette Park, sir. Towards 15.
We'll take care of it.
You see, he wanted to change the topic there very quickly, and he goes, the Democrats are very sick people. Rupert Murdoch from the Wall Street Journal is not a Democrat. By the way, he's someone who you said is one of your best friends. That's who you are suing right here. And then the Wall Street Journal, as you all know, had another massive expose this week, that an exclusive, that Donald Trump was briefed in May that his name appears in the Epstein files in the Department of Justice's custody and control. And that's why Donald Trump called it a hoax. Trump was briefed that his name was in the Epstein files, in several locations in the Epstein files, along with other names. And then Donald Trump says it was a hoax, and Obama did it, and this person did it, and that person did it. Now, one of the other reasons why the lawsuit filed by Donald Trump against the Wall Street Journal will be blowing up in his face is that this has also been independently corroborated by the New York Times as well. The New York Times confirmed that Donald Trump was listed as a contributor to Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday book. And then the New York Times published a page from the book, a letter handwritten by Ghislaine Maxwell. You can see the letter right there as well. In addition, the Wall Street Journal wrote another article about numerous other friends of Jeffrey Epstein's who provided letters for the 50th birthday as further corroboration. And one of the interesting things to see is that some of the Trump and MAGA influencers were like, look, Bill Clinton was in the book. Bill Clinton was there too. Like, they get their talking points mixed up. Look, we don't, if Bill Clinton was in the book and if Bill Clinton did bad things, we want him to be held accountable. But I'm trying to understand the MAGA logic. So Bill Clinton's letter was authentic and all these other people's letters were authentic. But Donald Trump's letter, yeah, that was the fake one. Now, Donald Trump also claimed that he's never used the word enigma before. It's just not words that he uses. And then we've unearthed several videos where Donald Trump has used the word enigma. Donald Trump claims he doesn't doodle or he's never drawn things. He goes, I don't write those drawings. We've dug up numerous times when Donald Trump has done drawings like this. And the New York Times report also was able to locate a book that Donald Trump wrote in the late 1990s, which he wrote to Jeffrey Epstein the following in October 1997. To Jeff, you are the greatest. And it's signed by Donald Trump. You are the greatest. So I'm just trying to even understand here. So I would think calling a sex trafficker at the height of the sex trafficking ring the greatest, is that worse? Is that the same in terms of writing a 50th birthday card to that individual? But all of this will come out in discovery. All of this will come out in the pleading stage of the lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal. Now, on Friday as well, Donald Trump was asked, so Donald, what are you hoping that your former criminal defense attorney, who's now the number 2 at the Department of Justice, Todd Blanche, he met with Ghislaine Maxwell a full day on Thursday, a long time on Friday. What do you want to get out of this meeting? Why are you sending your number two at the DOJ to treat Ghislaine Maxwell like she's some like foreign dignitary, like she's like an ambassador or some like a state visit or something? What are you trying to accomplish by this meeting between your DOJ and this sex trafficker? Watch what Donald Trump says. Here, play this clip.
What are you hoping Todd Blanche gets out of his meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell?
Well, I don't know about the meeting. I know it's taking place, and he's a fantastic man. He's a great attorney, and people should really focus on how well the country's doing, or they should focus on the fact that Barack Hussein Obama led a coup, or they should focus on the fact that Larry Summers from Harvard, that Bill Clinton, who you know very well, and lots of other friends, really close friends of Jeffrey Summers, should be spoken about, because, you know, Jeffrey Epstein should be spoken about, and they should speak about them, because they don't talk about them. They talk about me. I have nothing to do with the guy.
And then later, Donald Trump says that if you want to go find out all the other people who Epstein dealt with, Donald Trump said, I've got a list of all these other people. I've got a list. Why don't you go after them? Why are you going after me? Also, did you hear what Donald Trump said there at the beginning? He goes, I don't know about the meeting. I know that there's a meeting. Todd Blanche, he's a really good guy. He'll be doing the meeting, but you should focus on the coup, that there was a coup with Obama, and you should focus on how great everything is. No, things aren't going great in this country, separate and aside from the Epstein cover-up that you're engaged in. This has been the most disastrous 6 months like in American history. Then he goes, focus on Bill Clinton. Focus on the former president of Harvard. Dude, you're the president of the United States. What are you talking about? And you were Epstein's best friend. And you're the person who sued the Wall Street Journal. And I just want you to think for a second about this lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal. If you weren't engaged in some of the most heinous acts with underage girls, then why would you even believe that that letter was defamatory in the first place? I mean, think about all the other stuff that Donald Trump has said about Epstein. He's a great guy. He likes beautiful women. Many say they are on the younger side, that Ghislaine Maxwell would identify underage girls, at least one, that is Virginia Giuffre, who was working at the Towel Girl at Mar-a-Lago. And then Ghislaine Maxwell brought her from Mar-a-Lago to Epstein, right down the block, because that's where they lived. And then Virginia Giuffre was sex trafficked by Epstein, but located at Mar-a-Lago, where Donald Trump had a party where it was just him and Epstein. That's what they called it. And then they told all of these like beauty pageant girls of indeterminate age that there was going to be all these VIP modeling agency execs there, but it was just Trump and Epstein together. And then the people showed up and they were like, huh? Like, we know there was a 14-year-old girl, Jane Doe, who was brought over to Mar-a-Lago, and she alleges in a lawsuit against Epstein that Epstein brought her over to Mar-a-Lago and said, Trump, you like this little girl? You like this little one? You have Maria Farmer, one of Epstein's victims and Ghislaine's victims, who talked about being in Epstein's office. Donald Trump shows up. And then he's looking at Maria Farmer. She's wearing gym clothes. And then Epstein says, that one's not for you. Go into the other room. I mean, with all of that stuff that's out there, you're saying the fact that you wrote a letter to Epstein in 2003 for his 50th birthday, that the printing of that is defamatory. Doesn't that even by itself show a guilty conscience here? I mean, why wouldn't Donald Trump just say, if he was innocent, hey, you know, we happen to live right down the block from each other. We were rich guys. We knew each other. You know, why would you even make an implication like that when I sent this letter? That's not what it was intended for at all, unless you were actually involved in some heinous stuff. Now, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's vice president, like, I don't know if Vance is intentionally trying to throw Trump under the bus, but let me show you what the defense right now is by Donald Trump's number two, J.D. Vance. Vance goes, the contention, which is pretty clear if you just read what I said, is that it's bogus for the Wall Street Journal to publish a hit piece without showing us the letter. I have no idea if the book exists. Wall Street Journal won't show it to us. I have no idea if the letter exists. Wall Street Journal won't show it to us. I guess he repeats that twice. What I find absurd is the idea that Donald Trump was writing poems to Epstein, and I find it equally absurd that a major American paper would attack the president of the United States without revealing the basis for the attack. We all know what's going to happen. They're going to dribble little details out for days or weeks in an effort to assassinate the president's character. They won't show us this book or allow us to refute it until they've wrung every bit of fake news out of the story. And everyone will just move on from the fact that the Wall Street Journal is acting like a Democrat super PAC. It's disgraceful, and it's why the president sued. So, as Josh Gerstein said, so Trump's suit is for libel, or is it for not showing the subject of the story, the letter, before publication? What tort? What are you actually suing for? To which the Empty Wheel account says, to be fair, the allegations in the lawsuit don't resemble or remotely resemble the actual story. Maybe it was written before the story. Anyway, JD probably doesn't know about all that lawyering stuff. She's, of course, mocking JD Vance because he went to Yale Law School, and that's what he says. So what's the defamation, number one? Number two, what's that deposition going to look like of Donald Trump? Number three, it appears clear that he's all over the files based on the Wall Street Journal's other report. And then finally, we learned on Friday that it appeared that Donald Trump gave Ghislaine Maxwell something called use immunity. They gave her immunity based on what she was telling the Department of Justice and naming other names and everything, that she couldn't get prosecuted based on her proffer. It's called proffer immunity or use immunity, what she was saying about Epstein, what she was saying about her connections and what she knew. And I think she knows, and Donald Trump said earlier on Friday as well, I know I could give her a pardon. I haven't thought about it, but I have the power to do it. Then Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer said, well, that was interesting that Donald Trump mentioned pardon. Nothing's been promised to us, but we hope he will consider it. Then they give her immunity. The Department of Justice gives a sex trafficker immunity from future prosecution. And then she spends time with Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer, who Trump made his number two at the Department of Justice. And her lawyer, this guy, David Oscar Marcus, was someone who Trump was considering making his criminal defense lawyer. I heard from many Florida lawyers, who's like very close friends with Todd Blanche, Trump's criminal defense lawyer, who had that meeting. So what's more damaging to Trump's reputation? Writing a 50th birthday card or giving freaking immunity to Ghislaine Maxwell, a sex trafficker, and treating her like she's some ambassador to some foreign country? Well, anyway, that's why I think this lawsuit is blowing up. Tell me what you think. Hit subscribe, and let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.